Just drinking my melted ice cube water. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Today on my way home, I was listening to a podcast. I often listen to podcasts on my travels. I noticed that a podcast that I've been listening to every episode for the best part of a year, today I was just like, why am I listening to this? It used to be a podcast that I got a lot of enjoyment out of. They've changed direction slightly in the last few months, which is fine. Everybody's allowed to change. I've changed so many times that I have no problems with that. It's just I noticed I'm not really getting anything out of it anymore. As I was listening today, I just thought, why am I even wasting my time on this? Just because I've listened to it in the past, it's not serving me anymore, so why am I still listening to it? And when I stopped at the mailbox, which I actually went ahead and deleted the rest of the episode and unsubscribed from the podcast. Now, like I said, I have no problems with people changing their podcasts, their blogs, whatever their focus is, but it was no longer serving me, and instead of just sticking around as a vanity number and using my time to listen to something that I was no longer getting any use out of, just went ahead and unsubscribed and moving on. And it made me think a little bit about how often in our lives do we stick with something just because we've done it in the past, even if it's no longer serving us well. And the same thing can be said for a lifestyle choice that we make, whether it's the type of exercise program that we do or do not partake in, the type of eating plan we follow, anything like that. If you decide that it's no longer working for you, you don't have to keep on with it. I used to be a runner. I talked about it just recently, how I'm no longer running, and I made that choice, I think it was about 2 years ago. I've still run a couple times since then, but it was more just, I did a fun run with my husband last summer, and the summer before, I think I did one race, but I don't really recall exactly. I had started running mostly because I have a weak left lung. I know, fitness instructor with a weak left lung, and I thought it would help me strengthen my lung. And initially it did, because I was doing like 5Ks or 10Ks, and then I got up to doing half marathons, and I noticed after way too long that after about 16 or 17 kilometers, and I could tell that my lung was tired, I thought, why am I putting myself through this? And I ran for probably 5 years before I finally gave up. Between teaching and trying to have a life, running didn't really fit the mold for me anymore. I still think running is awesome, and I still encourage people who want to run, but when I see people running, I think, thank goodness that is no longer me. And that was just a personal choice. I had invested a lot in running. I was a Brooks ambassador. I had done all sorts of races, and I enjoyed doing that. But there came a point when I realized it was no longer serving me, so I gave it up. And at first I was a little bit bummed about it, but now I feel so happy that I chose that. And when I want to go out, I go for a walk, and I enjoy it so much more. It doesn't bother my lung. It's opened up room and time for me to take up things like hiking and to get my paddleboard last year. So that's what I'd love you to think about a little bit this weekend. If there's anything in your life that you are doing based on previous experience, so things that you used to enjoy or things that you used to get something out of, but now you're not, but you're still doing it. And if you are doing those things, like, why are you doing it? Sometimes we have to do it because we actually committed to it and we have to see it out, and that's one thing. But if you're just doing it out of habit or the sake of doing it because that's what you've always done, maybe it's time to sort of revisit that and decide, is this something that I should continue to use my time and effort on, or if it's something that I should just sort of say goodbye to and move on. That's what I'm going to leave you with this week. Be sure to comment down below to let me know if you can think of anything or if you have anything you want to share, and I would love to hear from you. Like and also share this video so that your friends can see, and maybe you'll trigger a little something in them. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you next week.